Hi guys, how are you doing? And in this video we are going to learn about variables. What are variables and how we can declare and use them in our program. So let's get started. And first we have need an empty file. So I'm gonna create one and click this button and click on this empty file. And here we have our file. Now let's save it, and I am gonna save it outside our previous folder, and I'm gonna name this variables in CPP. Okay, go inside of it and name your file as main.cpp. You can name it anything you want. It does not matter. So we have our file created and we have saved it. And now write some basic statements as hash include IOStream using namespace std int main. Okay, we have a basic setup ready. This is the basic template to write our C++ program. So now let's discuss about variables. What are variables and why we need them, and what role they play in our C++ program. You can say variable something where you can store something. Variable is a quantity whose value is changed during the execution of your program. And for example, if I have a variable a inside of my program, it has value 1 at first, and somewhere in our program it's gonna be a is equals to 20, and maybe after some time it will be a is equals to 40. It does not matter what's gonna inside it, and because the variables store some data, and the data and this may be changed during the execution of the program, and data we store in variable specifically depend on the data type we are using currently. For example, if we have created a variable of integer, we can only store integer data in it and nothing else. Let's see how can we declare integer variable in our C++ program. In order to declare an integer variable in our C++ program, you have to write the keyword int. This tells the compiler, hey compiler, we are going to create an integer variable. So we are gonna name our integer variable. You can name it anything, but you have to follow some rules. Your variable name will should not be start with any number, any special character, and your variable name does not have any spaces like and my war. This is invalid. You cannot create a variable like that name because we have a space in between, but you can declare it as this. This is a valid name, and this is called the camel case. In camel case, we have our first word, first letter lowercase, and after that each word first letter is a capital letter. So now we have created a variable in C++ program, and each and every C++ statement should be terminated with a semicolon. You should terminate each and every statement of your C++ program with a semicolon. We just have created our variable, nothing else in it but a garbage value. So if we print this on the screen, cout my var. By the way, the names in C++ are case sensitive. If I my var, I place this as my var with the capital M, and this is gonna not work because my var with the capital M and my var with the lowercase m are two different names, and hence you have to follow the rules. If I am gonna run this, it will say it's not in scope. This name is not in scope. Okay, and here you can see my var was not declared in this scope, so I'm gonna change it as my var with the lowercase m, and here it is. Because we have not stored anything in my var, and that's why we're getting this garbage value. Let's store something inside of it. By the way, this is the basic syntax to declare variables in C++ program. You have to write the data type. Here int is our data type, my var is our identifier. You can say it's the name of our variable where we can store any integer value, nothing else, just integer value. So if I write my var equal to, and here I can put any value, and this must be an integer, so that's it. If I run it, and that's it, we get 5 because we stored 5 in my var. We have several data types in C++ like and double, float, char, string, bool. These are the basic data types built in C++. You can use any of them, and the usage of these data types are different. Like double and float are used to store the real numbers with decimal point. Char is used to store a single character at a time. In string you can put a number of characters and display them on the screen, and a string is a sequence of character. And here the bool. Boolean, in Boolean data type you can only store true and false, true and false. These are the possible values for Boolean, and let's see an example. Let's make our my var, that is right now as an integer, make it as double, and let's see 5.0 and run it. We get 5, and if I put 1, and that's it, we get 5.01. But if I try to do this with integer data type, I will lose this 0.01 because the integer are not used to store the decimal points. Why it's taking too much time? Okay, because integers are not capable to store the decimal points values, and that's why we get 5. Compiler truncate the decimal points and store the first part in my var. That's why we got 5 here. And same here for float. Float and double both stores decimal numbers with decimal points, but float has 4 bytes in size, and double has 8 byte size in the memory. Okay, you can also store characters. Let's see, but let's look at it first. Here you can see we can also store decimal point values in float variables, and here we are gonna char my char, and we are going to store C in it, and let's print it, my char, and here it is. This process in which you supply the value, assign the value at the declaration time is called initialization of variable. It could be any variable, it could be an integer, a double, a float, a string, but remember one thing: when you supply the value or assign the value at the time of declaration, this process is called initialization. If I run it, I will get C on the console, and here it is, because we store C, and a char data type can only store a single character at a time. You cannot store more than one character in character data type. Okay, and this displays only the last one. That's because you cannot store more than one character at a time. If you have to, then use string data type. In string data type, you can store any number of characters, and this is my string variable. I can store any number of chars or characters in it, and let's print it. Okay, that's it. This is my string variable. I can store any number of characters in it. So these are the basic data types you can use in C++. There are some others data types, some more data types, but we will discuss about them in upcoming tutorials or lessons. So hope you like this video. If you like it, subscribe my channel and like this video and share it with your friends, and that's it.